What up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. What's up? So, let's go ahead and start introducing everybody. Coach Williams, that's me. The NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. As I said, I'm gonna keep stressing this. What up, Do? Build your game in the trenches. Build in the trenches. Free agency is on the rise. NFL combines coming up. A lot of defensive tackles coming out. Build your game in the trenches. That direction. Trish TV, the quarterback who runs this whole thing. That's right, the media brain. What's up, man?
Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? Hey, man, listen, Combine's coming up. I'm excited to watch these guys perform. I am going to address, I'm going to do a little teaser. I am going to address one of the quarterbacks that decided not to perform at the Combine, and I'm going to address why that is a huge mistake.
Interesting. Well, it's interesting last week how you said, four quarterbacks can go in the top 10, man. If that does happen, man, I will love it. And actually, Eric should love it too, because his team don't need a quarterback. So, okay. What's up, Donald?
What's up, Donald V? Hey, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
Hey. Now, how you gonna start talking and no one knows who the heck you are, man?
Man,
Down
they
below.
know who I am by now, man. Something wrong. Or either
I
you
know,
just,
man, but we still gotta do it, man. Just in case we got somebody brand new on, okay?
all right.
Come on now, down below. Pano 316, the good guy with the black hat, man. No off season for Just a Fan Podcast. It's off season NFL, but we don't take time off. Y'all better know. So go ahead and say what you gotta say, man. My bad.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and invite a friend. Bring somebody along with you that like football. Because we do things differently on Just a Fan Podcast. We're not like your average podcast. We're not like the talking heads on your big networks and everything else like that. We don't do stuff for clicks. We just give it to you hard, fast, and real. So that's what's up. Also, we got merch.
Yes, sir. All right, so it is a very interesting show today. NFL shopping list. What does your team need? Well, everybody needs something because no team is perfect. Yes, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but even they're gonna have needs because they're gonna have free agents and contracts ran out and stuff. And so they got to start over. We have a list. We're gonna try to get through. If we don't through all 32 teams, that's cool. But we're gonna try to get through majority of these teams as much as possible.
And if you're watching right now and you want to talk, if you want to talk about your team first and then go back to the other ones, we can do that because we're going to cater to our fans first that are actually watching and participating with us. So all you got to do is in the comment box, put your team name down, the name of your team down, and we'll start talking about them first.
Whether it's
interactive.
Whether it's Houston, Texas, New Orleans Saints, Green Bay Packers, or whoever it is, we will talk about them. So first, I'll tell you what, man. I know Arizona is is tops on this list, but I tell you what, we got one already. Houston, Texas offensive line help, and I agree.
This is true.
The Houston Texans definitely need offensive line help. It was bad for them. I'm also seeing needs of wide receiver and defensive tackle. Stephon Diggs is a free agent. Tank Dell is injured, and I forgot he might not be back to what late next season. I think that's what it is, and so that
Uh,
kind of leaves you.
quite possibly he could be out for the entire. Uh, he could be out for the entire season next year.
Okay, so
That's how bad of an injury it was.
that's right. I forgot about that. So that leaves you with Nico Collins, and so because John Mitchell never, I guess, has lived up to what he should have been coming out of Alabama. Um, they traded Noah Brown to Washington, and it wasn't like he wasn't much of anything. So that leaves you with Nico Collins. Like, is there any other receiver on the team that I'm missing, or what?
I'm
No,
I'm
there's a
pretty
need.
sh- I'm pretty sure they're gonna get Diggs back in just because of how it went last year. They want that high powered offense. I know that Robert Woods has already, according to his agent, is willing to sign with them again.
Okay.
So I just can't see them. They knew what they wanted to do with Stephon Diggs when they brought him in there. So I can't see them letting him just be a free agent and go elsewhere without seeing what it could have been. But definitely need to address the offensive tackle, and I believe it was the right guard position on the offensive line. That
Yeah.
definitely has to get addressed for sure.
No, it does. It does.
I would address
C,
tackle as well.
Yeah,
CJ Stroud needs time in the pocket to do what he needs to do.
and
Um,
and let me be very clear. C.J. Stroud did not have a sophomore slump. C.J. Stroud didn't have the offense that he was working with all season and what it was supposed to become. That's what
that
happened.
that's
You
true.
lose Nico Collins early on in the season. You lose Stephon Diggs early on in the season. Tank Dell's coming on. You thinking, okay, we at least get Tank Dell and Nico Collins coming back. Boom, Tank Dell goes down. Like the offense was not what it was envisioned to be in the offseason
Not to
for them.
mention, Dalton Schultz, I felt like took a huge step back.
Now
Yeah,
he slumped. He slumped for
he took a
sure.
step back.
He took a huge step back, and I was like, dang, at least thought they would have been able. He would have been able to rely on Schultz,
I
but
think somebody I think
Schultz is
somebody
a
was trying to
veteran
ask
tight end
his
who can go.
oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Schultz is a veteran tight end who can catch the football, but man, Schultz didn't do hardly anything. During the season, so that didn't help matters at all. But to get Diggs back is would be good. To get Robert Woods back, because Robert Woods can be a definitely a solid three.
Absolutely.
Um, I would draft a receiver in the late rounds if you're able to keep Diggs and Woods, just because you want somebody to come in and learn from Diggs and Woods and
Hey,
everybody
listen,
else.
don't be
And
surprised if they try to go after Cooper.
Cooper Cup.
uh, uh,
Cooper
um,
Cup.
um, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Listen, and I think I know your reservation. If I'm wrong, correct me. But listen, Cooper Cup, right? Cooper Cup last year on an injury-ridden year was still productive for the Rams. I need people to understand that Cooper Cup was not healthy last year. It wasn't a decline in skill. Is he the Triple Crown Super Bowl MVP Cooper Cup? No. But if you want him to be maybe your second or third option in your receiving rotation, he's a very valuable receiver still.
And that's
He just had an injury ridden season.
And so, okay, you bring up a good point. I guess I don't know, man. I just feel like age and getting older. I mean, I guess you're right. He can still, do what he needs to do as a second or third option. Because
Intelligence, football IQ, and crisp route running goes a long way past the athletic ability, and that
not
he could still do.
not to mention he has Super Bowl experience, so that helps him out also a ton too. Because the game won't be too big for him, and he'll be at least a chain mover. He'll be a chain mover. Also, Donald brought up a good point here, saying the rookie tight end got hurt after the fifth game of the season. So yeah, I mean,
He
Stroud
lost a
lost.
lot,
He lost a ton. He lost a ton, man.
and for
Um,
it to be his second year, that was a tall ask.
Yeah.
what's up,
Hey,
Cleveland?
For the Cleveland. Yeah, man. Just looking at it, the way the cap situation is in Houston is not favorable for them to be very active in the free agent market.
That is true. I'm looking at it.
Right now, the projection is possibly 4.9 million under the cap, maybe give or take a million or two because the full salary cap has not been released. That doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room. They're gonna probably have to restructure some guys to get some more cap space. But ultimately, I see them building through the draft, which is not a bad thing. Nick Casario's done a really good job of team building, and the scouting department is very good in Houston.
And this is
So
not a bad draft to build your team outside
it's
of
it's
quarterback.
not it's
No,
not
no, you can really get something, man.
all of your
You
all
got
of,
edge rushers, D tackles,
Yeah,
running backs,
you got
receivers.
41 D tackles going in the combine. So
It's
yeah.
a this
So
is a rich to build your roster. Like if you already got a quarterback on your roster, to build your roster, this is the draft.
that being said, the Texans are going to probably have to address these needs mostly through the draft because of their cap situation, which is a good thing because now you have youth, and then you're a playoff team. You're a division winner, so it's not like you're scrubs. So all you're doing is like building in a couple of positions. You're plugging holes where they need to be plugged, and you're
yeah,
doing it with young, cheap talent.
And you're the
So
only team in your division with a legit franchise QB.
right. So that's despite the cap situation in Houston, I think they can address these positions, wide receiver, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, in the draft, and I think they're going to be fine.
yes,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
Real quick, what's up, Twan? Hey, Edward, what's up? And Donnie, what's up? Chargers, we're gonna get into that in a minute. I just want to let everybody know, in case anybody is new getting in, because I'm sure people got in. If you want us to talk about your favorite team and their team needs, go ahead and mention them. We just finished talking about Houston, what they need, what their cap space is, and stuff. We have a good conversation about it because we just skipped over teams like Arizona, Atlanta, to talk about Houston. So
Mention your team, and
mention your
we'll talk
team,
about it. And
and
then
we'll
we'll
talk
go
about
back to
them.
everybody else. We want to cater to our fans who are actually online with us right now and who are interacting with us live. So go ahead and mention your team. Just type your team name, put it up there, and we'll start talking about them. Then we'll come back around to everybody else that nobody asked about.
Right.
All right.
So let's go here. Donnie saying I don't know about football, but the Chargers going far next year. Um, let's talk about the LA Chargers, man, because the Chargers. Listen, that team is good. They made it to the playoffs under first year head coach and Jim Harbaugh, but really should anybody be surprised because of what he did in San Francisco, what he did in
That's right.
Stanford, and what he did in Michigan.
That's right.
It should not be a surprise. Now they
So
have
I
a
think,
lot. They have a
yeah, the
lot
two
of
biggest needs I think they're going to need is probably going to be wide receiver
Wide receiver.
and
Yep.
edge, because
Yep.
Khalil Mack is a free agent. He's probably going to be going elsewhere.
and
Long in
Joey
the
Uh,
tooth.
Bosa is expected to get cut.
He's
Long in the
expected to
tooth.
either be cut or restructured, and plus he's a little bit longer in the. Well, Khalil Mack's longer in the two, but Joey Bosa has injury concerns,
That's right.
uh, and then also wide receiver because there are really.
They ain't
Let's
got
be
none.
honest. Yeah,
The only person you got is Lad McConkey.
Besides that white boy. Yeah.
yeah.
Lad McConkey's the
Ladd
only guy you got.
McConkey. If Ladd McConkey is your best receiving threat, you are definitely in need of wide receiver. That's no reflection on him. He's a very good player,
He's very good.
but
Yeah.
but he's not a alpha dog receiver, a prime threat. So receiver. Now here's the thing with the Chargers, their projection is about $70.4 million. Give or take again, I want to be clear about this cap situation because the salary cap has not been released yet, but it's been projected. So right about now, we're going mid-range in between where they said it's going to be somewhere between 277 million and 281 million. So we just went mid-range with these projections. So it could be a few dollars more or a few million dollars less. But as of right now, we're just going to say 70.4 million is what they're looking at per over the cap. That's their projection. So they can actually be players in free agency. And then you start looking at these receivers who have Like, look at the Chiefs receiving room. Oh my God, almost all of them are free agents except for
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy. You
So
know,
now, so now, if I'm the Chargers, right, and I got this money to spend, right, I wouldn't be shocked. Now I know we talked about him a little bit last week, but I wouldn't be. It wouldn't surprise me if they entertain the call to T Higgins and say, "Hey, we'll pay you like a number one if you come here and play like a number one."
now here's the thing about T. Rumors around the campfire circulating that T. Higgins may get the franchise tag for a second year in Cincinnati.
And that he'll possibly want to take it
Yeah,
because he wants to stay with Joe Burrow and Jamar. I heard that too.
exactly. So we talking about T, but we won't know until they start slapping franchises left and right, and we'll see what's going on.
Oh, that's what I wanted to look up.
Yeah. So basically, T. Higgins may be off the table, even though he's probably the most prime wide receiver free agent this coming off season. He's
But we
like,
also got to look at the number that Chargers might give. Sometimes the money make you change your thoughts.
well, the Chargers would have to give up
And
a
they in
first.
LA. You ain't gonna be in cold Cincinnati.
You be indoors.
I'm just saying. It ain't like
Now,
you're not downgrading too much at quarterback. You got Justin
now
Herbert throwing you the football.
that's true, and you got a good head coach and Jim Harbaugh.
Okay,
The now the deadline for the franchise tag is March 4th at 4
ooh,
p.m. Eastern.
that's next week.
So yeah, that's next week, and that's on a what day? Wednesday, I think.
Tuesday. It's a
Oh,
It's on
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Just on Tuesday. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, next Tuesday,
A week from tomorrow.
week for tomorrow, is the trade deadline for the franchise tag, or even what is called a transition tag. I'm not gonna get into transition tag because I really don't care about that. They don't really
Right,
use that too much.
right.
But yeah. So that's what's going on. So we'll see. But other receivers who are free agents, Chris Godwin's a free agent. Amari Cooper's a free agent. So you can take a look at those guys if you're not able to get T Higgins.
Now I did hear that the Bills are trying to re-sign Amari,
And I don't blame him because that's a veteran receiver who can run routes and catch the football for Josh Allen.
and you want Coleman to continue learning underneath that dude.
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. So, um, man, so we got a lot of people in here throwing out team names. I tell you what.
We got
So there's two people in here that are Cowboy fans.
okay.
Uh, Alejandro
Alejandro Aguilar,
Aguiar, and then
Cherie.
Cherie.
That's my sis right there. What up, big sis?
Okay. So we got a couple Cowboy fans now. She said, "Well, I will always be Dallas Cowboys for life. However, y'all don't have enough time to talk about what they need other than a new owner."
As long as you know,
So yes, the Cowboys, yes, they do have a lot of needs.
I like
They
her
need.
already, Eric. She got sense.
Oh yeah, no. That's my people, man. That's my people.
She got
so
sense. I
she
already
so
like it.
so the Cowboys are going to have to create cap space, and they're going to end up
Yes,
doing so by restructuring Dak Prescott's contract
Prescott's
and
deal. Have to.
CD Lamb's contract.
They're gonna have to.
And CD
Um,
and CD gonna be the one they're gonna have trouble with. Because CD gonna be like, hey, I've been productive all year for y'all.
Absolutely. He's gonna give them hell because
He's
as
gonna
of
give
right
them the
now,
work.
according to projections, the Dallas Cowboys have only 2.4 million, give or take a million or two
yeah.
in cap space.
So they're gonna have to restructure those contracts. But CD may not have anything to stop it because I mean, if it's already written in the contract, then it's written in the contract.
This
So
is
that
true.
and usually that's how a lot of those contracts are structured is so that way teams can restructure in the future. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. But it says Cowboys needs are running back, guard, defense tackle, cornerback. Obviously, to me, is way more than that. Um, Running back definitely because Rico Dotto's a free agent.
Give me just a second before you go on. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Williams right here is a Dallas Cowboy fan, so he knows what he's talking
You know
about.
what you're talking about.
So we're gonna defer to him on this one. Go ahead, Coach.
Yep.
All right, so Cowboys need a running back. Now I heard they're gonna try to bring out Rico Dotto, but he's a bridge player, so they still need to draft somebody. Cowboys to me need a number two receiver opposite of CD Lamb. They need a true boundary X wide receiver. Um, Tight end could be a need just in case if Ferguson does not take the step forward he needs to take because he took a step back this past season.
He had a bad bit of fumbleitis this season.
Zach Martin retired at right guard, so the Cowboys need a right guard.
I
Now I heard
agree.
him, yeah, Hall of Famer, yep. So, but I heard they might move Cooper Beebe over to right guard and move Brock Hoffman up to center. So we'll see what they do with that. Defensive tackle. The only defensive tackle, and I told Eric this before you came on, Tristan, in the green room. The only defensive tackle on the roster is Mozzie Smith. That's under contract.
Yep.
That's the only one. Defensive end, I say they need defensive end. Yes, they have Marshawn Nealon. That's the name I couldn't think of, Eric, and they have Sam Williams coming back. But that doesn't; those two guys don't stop me from taking a defensive end.
Mm-mm.
They need linebackers. Demario Overshawn is injured. Merce Lufau is going to his second year. Eric Kendricks is a free agent, and the Cowboys have given up on Damone Clark, who should be cut uh soon within the next week.
That's tough.
Um, the Cowboys need a cornerback because Trayvon Diggs, I don't know how much time he's gonna miss, and Jordan Lewis is a free agent. That leaves you with Deron Bland. I know. I'm long winded, but because I just know my team inside
Nah,
out.
yeah, talk it.
Deron Bland's the only cornerback right now. Well, besides the guy we drafted from Wake Forest, that went to high school in freaking Waldorf. Anyway, Kayla Carson, thank you. Goodness gracious. So that leaves you with those two corners. Um, I think we need a safety.
I was gonna
I
Uh,
say,
agree.
yep, I
I
agree.
agree.
Donovan Wilson is a true box safety. He's he can't cover in space. Malik Hooker never lived up to what he was. I mean, I know he got injured in Indianapolis and he got healthy, but he just not what he was coming out of college. So Cowboys need a safety. Cowboys need a cornerback. Cowboys need linebackers. Cowboys need defensive line all the way through. Cowboys need offensive lineman, tight end possibly, wide receiver definitely, running back, and a backup quarterback. Cowboys need everything except for a kicker, a punter, a starting quarterback, a WR1, and a kick returner, and a long snapper.
So to sum it all up, give
Cowboys are like
the
the Cowboys
Cowboys
are
are
not near the Eagles.
yeah. But to sum it up, their off season situation is similar to the Texans in the fact that they don't have a lot of cap space. They have a lot of needs, and they're going to have to hit on these draft picks. They can't be major players in free agency. You can't. So Jerry Jones, please don't get in front of the media and say you all in because you really gonna be lying this time.
Yeah,
So just
they're
because
they're
you do not,
actually
yeah,
they're actually going to have probably the youngest, if not one of the youngest team in the league next year because the majority of that roster is going to be of rookies, maybe
hmm
first or second year players,
Yes,
hmm
and
yes.
and all they can do is hope that your $60 man can one last the season and two play to what his contract requires.
earn his money.
Yeah, and really, Dallas just don't need to be building a team for this year. And they need because you only got you got 4 years left with Dak. Contract wise, you have 4 years left, so you need to try
And you still
to.
got to sign Micah, who is your best player.
Yeah, well, I heard I think signing Michael might lower the cap hit, so
Extending a player does
If he
increase your
wants
cap
to,
space. Yeah.
depending how long he wants to be there, because that's also a rumble as well. He would take his money, but he probably pull a DAC on you and not want to give you maybe 5 6 years as Jerry likes to pull to try to stretch that cap out. He
and you
might
know,
be like, no, give me four, give me
yeah,
three.
and you know that wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. But also, what do you do as Dallas? Do you just sit there and say, "Hey, look, 3 or 4 years is good," because all I got is 3 or 4 years with Dak Prescott anyway?
You absolutely do because you're not letting a generational pass rusher walk out the building. Even when he got hurt and came back, he was still the best player on the field when he came
Mhm.
back.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. So all right, man. So that was a lot for Dallas. Let me scroll back up, but Twan, who we know very well, he says,
Chicago.
really, soon as you saw my name, you already know. So yes, so we know Twan. Twan is a Chicago Bears fan, diehard Chicago Bears fan. The Bears, listen, that
Offensive
team,
line.
that team last year, man, they had a good defense under Matt Eberflus, who's not no longer the head coach. Caleb Williams showed some promise, and if Ben Johnson is what he is to help out Caleb Williams,
That's right.
Caleb Williams gonna take that next step. So we'll see what happens. They have a ton of cap space, but
Tackle, guard, center. Period.
yeah, they need
That's it.
offensive line. They
Offensive
need
line.
offensive line. They need to protect that boy. I see Keenan Allen's a free agent, but they have other receivers in DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. So
Yep.
you can find a third receiver in the draft.
And their
But
tight end is good.
Yeah.
who? Lewis?
No. Who's the other tight end? It's a young cat.
Okay.
It's a young cat they got on there.
It's not
Lewis,
Stephen Carson, is it?
no.
Okay, so somebody else. Okay. Well, anyway, Chicago, but yeah, they need offensive line. They need offensive line, and they got the cap space to get offensive line.
79.7 million as
What
of right.
what do they pick in the draft this year?
You pick kind of high.
They pick 10. They can get offensive line. They can draft offensive line. They
Yes.
can get offensive line to free agent, and they can draft the offensive lineman. Whoever they feel like is the best offensive lineman, they need to take at number 10 and get some veterans in there, man. Hey, I tell you what, Ronnie Stanley's a free agent in Baltimore. I don't.
Yes, he is.
I would assume
Trey
Baltimore
Smith
will
is-
bring him back.
Trey
But
Smith is a
if
free agent in Kansas City.
who?
Guard. Trey Smith, guard.
Yeah, Trey Smith. If I tell you what, they got all that money. If they are able to, I would try to snatch both of those guys up, Staley and Smith. I would snatch man. That
I
would
mean, let's be real here. Let's get to brass tacks and really think about it. The Super Bowl was won this year in the trenches.
thank you, and that's why I said build your trenches right here.
Your trenches. It's all about trench game on both sides of the ball. And where Chicago is lacking is on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the trench. So if they can give Caleb Williams, who flashed with a very subpar offensive line this year, he flashed. Imagine what he may be able to do when he actually has some time and he's not running for his life.
And here's the thing: if you bring in Ronnie Staley and Trey Smith, those two guys can be legit anchors.
Mm-hmm.
Who you don't have to worry about. And if you draft the best offensive lineman and you draft it right, well, let's say you take two offensive linemen in the first 3 or 4 rounds, like that helps you out immediately because we'll see what I don't know Minnesota can repeat what they did last year as far as the amount of wins they had. Green Bay, is a little shaky with Jordan Love and still a young team. So you're really looking at Detroit, who's trying to get healthy, but Detroit lost 7 coaches. So depending on what you do, you could end up being possibly the second best team in the
division.
In the division.
Yeah.
You could possibly be the second best team in the division overnight. Well, not overnight, but you get what I'm saying.
You got the draft positioning, you have the money, you just got to spend it correctly on the correct players that fit your scheme.
Was Cole Kmet was the tight end? Okay, yeah, he's the tight end. That's what it was, yeah. So yeah, Chicago, they got the cap space, man. They got the cap space. They got the draft capital to do what they need to do. Let me see if anybody else said a team. I think we might have covered everybody's team because we said Houston, we said Chargers, we said Dallas, we said Chicago. If anybody else got a team other than what we have talked about.
Where my Who Dat people at? Normally we got 3 or 4 Who Dats on
Yeah,
the
where
show.
the Saints fans at? That is facts.
We normally have 3 or 4 of y'all on here, man.
Yeah, man. What's Titus? Did I miss Titus' name?
Titus, Eric James, where y'all at?
Eric James. Hey, who's Cleveland's favorite team?
He's a Texan. He's
he's
in Houston, man.
That's right. Okay. So, yeah, what are Saints fans at? Golly. Well, I'll tell you what then. Well, since we're waiting on the Saints fans to speak up, let's talk about your team, Pando, San Francisco 49ers, man. And just like how you deferred to me, we're going to defer to you, man.
Okay, well, first of all, again, the Super Bowl this season was won and lost in the trenches. Okay. Kansas City's offensive line could not withstand the brutalization of of Philadelphia's defensive front. It was overwhelming. They couldn't handle it. The referees actually was calling holding when the Chiefs were holding. And it was rough. That's where the 49ers need to go. This is how the 49ers actually lost the Super Bowl the previous year. And it really showed up this year. The offensive line was not able to protect Brock Purdy very well. With that, he still threw 3,800 yards. But the 49ers need help at tackle, and they need help at guard. Aaron Banks, who's the left guard next to Trent Williams, he's a free agent. Colton McKivitz is just serviceable. He's just a guy. Jake Brendel is the second oldest center in the NFL, starting center in the NFL. So they have needs at guard, they have needs at right tackle, and they have needs at left guard, right tackle, and center. My thing is in the draft that they need to go after the best tackle available, someone who could come in and start day one on the right side and be an heir apparent to Trent Williams, because tackles are a premium in this particular draft. Like, you got to grab them early. If you want to grab a starting tackle, you got to grab them within the first couple of rounds. If you do not, you will be missing out, because the rest of those guys are projects. And we'll get more into talking about draft later. Defensive tackle, the 49ers were 26th against the run last year. Okay. The pass defense was okay, but the run defense was porous, because basically Javon Hargrave was out. He was hurt. And now he's a post-June 1st designation for a cut. And Malik Collins, although he played well, needs another guy. Need like a one-tech, a fire hydrant type guy in the middle to really stuff up the line of scrimmage and allow the linebackers, whomever they may be. Hopefully they'll bring Dre Greenlaw back, but we know we got All-Pro Fred still back there. Allow the linebackers to do what they do. This year they were not allowed to do what they wanted to do, because they were steady fighting off blocks because the offensive line was bad. They still need another edge rusher to go with Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's kind of doing stuff. I know Leonard Floyd was there, but he's getting a little long in the tooth. And just some cornerback depth.
I'm going to tell you what you need. Now, go ahead and finish, Eric. I'm going to tell you what you need when you're done.
Okay. And if you say Aaron Rodgers, I'm cussing you out on this on the air. Okay. So defensive tackle definitely, guard, edge, and then lastly corner. I would also, this is my personal preference, I would like to see the 49ers possibly go on day 2 or 3 for a actual deep ball safety. There are a lot of guys right now that in the draft that are Brian Branch style players, if you would, guys who can play in the slot, who can play a little bit outside if necessary in a pinch, and can also play free safety. The 49ers have Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown, and if Talanoa Hufanga comes back, he'll that's still 3 strong safeties. There's not a true deep ball, deep third, deep middle of the field safety on the roster.
I like Baby Troy though.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good, but he's a free agent. And I don't think the Niners are going to be able to bring back both Dre Greenlaw or Hufanga. Excuse me. It's probably going to be one or the other, because of this whole Deebo Samuel trade thing happening. And it's the dead money that's incurred that's going to eat away at a lot of the cap space that the Niners have, paying off that $31.5 million cap hit that the Niners have. So the way things are looking, they're going to be able to re-sign Brock Purdy, of course, or extend him rather. That's going to create a little room. And then they're probably going to be able to re-sign either Dre Greenlaw or Talanoa Hufanga. If you're asking me personally, most people who know the team will prefer Dre Greenlaw to Talanoa Hufanga, because why? You have 2 other really young safeties that are playing really good football, and you can kind of part ways with him. Do I want to see him go? Absolutely not. However, when you in a budget crunch, you got to do things like that. So, defensive tackle, guard, cornerback, and edge. They just signed Ben Barch today been a backup, but who's had playing time. He's a guard. That's why guard will be the last offensive trench position I would talk about because he may come in and play left guard. But and I think they're going to go after center in free agency. I don't think they're going to draft one. They may go after one in free agency and then draft one later to groom underneath the veteran that they pick up in free agency. I'm hoping if John Lynch has sense.
Okay, Tristan, before you go, let me just correct Eric on one thing. You do not have to cut Javon Hargrave. He's a free agent.
No, 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 no.
According to this list I'm looking at, unrestricted free agents.
He was designated as a June 1st cut, so maybe that's why he's on that free agent list.
Okay,
that's why, because he's already been designated as a June 1st cut.
Okay,
I'm sorry, a post June 1st. Excuse me.
I know what you mean. Post June 1st cut. Yeah,
yeah. That's probably why he's on that list.
All right, so T, what do you think San Francisco needs?
Aaron Rodgers. You gonna win the chip?
Good night.
let Brock Purdy sit and learn from A-Rod, and then you insert him back in. It's simple, easy. It's arguably the easiest transaction that you can actually make. Like I don't even know why I didn't even think of it. For real, I don't know why I didn't think of it.
I'm gonna say this as
hold on, time out. Eric, stop. Eric, wait. Tristan, I know you're not serious, are you?
Come on, Brandon, I'm not serious.
I was about to say.
Come on, man.
He's trolling.
Don't insult my intelligence.
He's trolling.
I was about to say, hold on, Tristan. Hey, man.
You know what he's trolling about, because some people,
I know why he's trolling.
Some people don't know football and they pontificate as if they do, and was trying to lecture me about why the 49ers couldn't get over the hump and Brock Purdy was the reason, even though he wasn't the reason they lost the Super Bowl.
Hey, listen, man. You guys got yourself a quarterback out of nowhere, man. Trey Lance is not it at quarterback. Dallas is not bringing him back.
I don't know if he's going to make a team. I mean,
listen, man. Trey Lance may have to go to Canada, or he may have to go to the UFL, man.
I will say this though. For Kyle Shanahan's perspective, you have to win a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Because you pulled that trigger on that trade to get Trey Lance, knowing you had Brock Purdy in the building, and you could have possibly used those picks for other things.
No. Hold on, Tristan. No. Brock Purdy came along after Trey Lance.
No, but I'm saying, you saw, if you're Kyle Shanahan, right? The boy's supposed to be the boy genius, boy wonder, right? You had a chance to do something else, because remember when that trade happened to get Trey Lance, ain't nobody thought that was a thing. Everybody, even the fact that you knew Jimmy Garoppolo was probably going to be out the door and all that, everyone said, why are the 49ers taking this kind of risk? Trey Lance must be that legit. That's what everybody was saying. If Kyle Shanahan, that was the tag. If Kyle Shanahan is agreeing with John Lynch to do this, Trey Lance must be legit. And then you lucked up on having Brock Purdy be legit, but you have to now win a chip, because if you don't, that trade is going to haunt him.
They were fired. If Brock Purdy was not drafted the next year,
he'd have been fired.
It was
a fireable offense.
Yeah,
it was a fireable offense.
Yeah.
So you have to win a chip. You have to justify basically your entire tenure as the head coach.
Yeah. And right now he's doing okay because he's getting there. He's always in the conversation every year, but after a while, that's going to wear thin.
It's going to, because again, it's your name. You're kind of like you're kind of at fault for your own name. Because when you got there, you the one that signed off on Jimmy G coming when y'all got in there.
That is true.
You signed off on that. You said that's what you wanted. You felt that was your guy, that y'all was going to take him to the promised land, right? So then you knock on the door. You knock on the door, but everyone clearly saw that Jimmy G was the reason that you didn't kick the door in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, you did the trades to get Trey Lance, and then you signed Brock Purdy. Then you're like, oh shoot, I think I made a mistake. And like Eric said, because y'all keep winning, he's kind of gotten under. He's kind of flying under the radar of being in that hot seat. But if when you how many years left on the contract?
I think they got 2 or 3.
So you got 2 or 3 more years to get a
Yeah.
chip because
Mhm.
they're not gonna take you in again.
Nope.
You made too many mistakes, and your team
And to
being
be
so
fair,
good bailed you out.
and to be fair, it was Kyle Shanahan's fault. They lost both those Super Bowls.
Exactly.
It was his fault.
Here's my thing. You say 3 years left. Now, I do expect San Francisco to win that division again this year. Okay, because health killed them last year. But they have to, like you said, win the Super Bowl because I don't see it lasting 3 years if they don't win that Super Bowl. It'll probably be 2 years. You
No,
looking at, let's see, this 25. He could be gone after 2026, and it just have 1 year left on the contract and be fired. Both of them.
I think if they miss the playoffs this year coming, I think he's done.
Wow.
I don't see y'all missing the playoffs, but I will.
I don't
If
either.
I
if
don't either because we play the
if you
last place
somehow
schedule.
did though, if you somehow did, yes.
Oh yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. No questions. He basically, they let it fly in 2020. They let it fly this year because both reasons the Niners missed the playoffs those years was a ton of injuries. So they let that go. They letting it last year go. Okay, but people are relatively healthy. The team is relatively healthy. We're playing a last place schedule against what now is going to be a very weak division, especially if Matt Stafford gets traded. Uh, I don't know who D Shift is, but you're absolutely right. Put that back up, please. Maybe Kyle needs to understand his deficiencies as well. Absolutely, because this is not happenstance. This is not a one-off. He has lost championships behind bad decisions late in games. But I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs.
I don't think so either.
I don't think. But should that happen, there is no excuse. You playing in a weak division.
Yes.
You're playing a last place schedule, and there's no way you should not be able to churn out 10 to 11 games.
Yeah, because when you look at the division, like the Rams won the division, but they might be looking for a quarterback this coming off season and Stafford gets traded. So that's
Cooper Kupp is on the trade block.
It's on trade block. Yeah, so he's gone. You have
Seattle is a hot mess, and they're over the cap. They can't really be players in free agency.
And Arizona I think Arizona might be able to raise the ceiling a little bit because of Marvin Harrison, but not too much. So
yeah,
you're not looking like a whole lot in the division outside of San Francisco. So as long as San Francisco is good, man, they should is healthy. They should be all right.
Yeah, it's all about health for the 49ers.
That's what it's about.
It's been about health. Like people are like, oh, the Niners fell apart, blah blah blah. No, it was
health. Yeah, thank you.
Literally health. They had played 20 games for the last 2 seasons, and it just wore down.
Now, again, go ahead.
And as long as they're healthy, they're a viable contender with that current iteration of roster, even without Deebo Samuel. As much as I love Deebo Samuel, y'all know I'm a huge Deebo fan. He's expendable. He's very expendable. The way the offense has evolved around Brock Purdy has made Deebo Samuel expendable.
Yes.
Because before you had Mr. Checkdown artist Jimmy Garoppolo, so Deebo Samuel was very important to that offense. However, when you got a player like Brock Purdy who was like top 5 in air yards in passing, yards per attempt, this is more of a downfield passing offense now.
Eric.
Yeah.
I understand you just said top 5 in air yards, but let's be real. Brock Purdy is already one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. It's not even just about air yards. It's just the way Brock Purdy has played. Ever since that. No, I know where you're going. I'm not worried about what. This is why we do what we do here. Okay. I'm not worried about what's being said on ESPN. I don't care what's being said on Fox Sports. I don't care about none of that stuff. Okay. Brock Purdy, ever since he stepped foot on that football field, has been fantastic. He has overshot expectations as Mr. Irrelevant. And when I mean overshot expectations, I'm talking about, dude, how in the world did you fall all the way down to the end of the draft? Because
Oh, I could have told you. I could have told you how.
why?
Where did he play?
I understand
Iowa
that.
State,
I understand that, but
Will.
Oh, no, no,
but
no,
but
no.
but, but hold on, T. What do I always say? You have to know how to scout.
It's
You
different
have
for
to know how
quarterbacks.
to draft,
It's different for quarterbacks. It's
and
different for quarterbacks.
you still got to know how to scout. I don't care who the quarterback is.
It's different for.
I
I'm
don't care
trying to
who the
tell you.
quarterback is.
I'm
It's
trying to
just
tell you.
hold
It's
on. Wait,
different for QBs. As somebody that pays attention and watching college football quarterback, it's different for Q. It's a different lens for quarterbacks. That it weighs so heavily.
I understand that.
The perfect example is Carson Wentz. Another example is when you could go you can go way back and look at some of these high draft picks.
You can look
Look
at
at
Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf. I know. Trust me, I know. I
That's what I'm
remember.
saying.
And Kyle Bowler. Yes, I remember all
So
those.
it really weighs heavily. So for Iowa State, you had Iowa State where he balled, but he wasn't even the best quarterback in his conference. The thing that makes it different is that you have some players that play in college that are better pros than they were college players. Brock Purdy is one that he is a better pro than he was at college. That's the difference.
I give you
Because if you
that.
look at his tape, I always told you he was a gamer, but Brock Purdy ain't look like this in Iowa State. He
I'm
did
gonna
not
tell
look
you.
like how he looked.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. And there's one last thing, and we need to move on because I don't want to spend the whole time talking about the Niners. Um, but one thing that a lot of people forget: Brock Purdy started in the middle of his freshman year and never looked back.
Never look back.
So you talking about a kid that
A
started
lot of experience.
3.5 years of football. He was a starter. And I think that's one of the things that led to Trey Lance not being so great because he didn't have the experience. I think if Trey Lance would have played for 3.5 years with his physical skill set, he might be a better quarterback. And I think that's the difference with Brock Purdy
But
is he
not
got the experience and the maturity.
but
And
not even just that with the Trey Lance situation. Look at the year that Trey Lance came out. Trey Lance came out with in the COVID year. That man played one game.
He
yep,
played one game in COVID year.
yep,
He played 19 games total.
yep.
Yes. So
So
He's
so
yeah,
very,
that
very
that does
good.
make a
that hurts
difference.
you. But
Yeah.
trust me, there are some players that are better pros than they are college players. Like that's the Brock Purdy effect. He's a better pro. And you watch his tape, you knew he was a gamer for sure. But everyone looked at him like, okay, he'll be a really good backup. He'll have a great career as a backup quarterback in the league. Kyle Shanahan has made him a better pro than he was a college player. That's the effect of Brock Purdy. I'm telling you, it's the scouting for QBs is a different lens you got to look through than scouting other positions. The general philosophy is all the same, but there's a particular way that you got to look at quarterbacks, and that's how you're gonna know the ones that go to the big schools and you think they're gonna be great and they end up being busts because you
Mhm.
really have to pay attention on how they play, what's looked at around them. That's why I always gave cause to pause with Alabama QBs because what did Alabama always have for a number of years under Nick Saban?
Receivers.
Receivers and
Receivers.
an awesome offensive line. They never lacked in
Especially
that.
especially when they started bringing in offensive coordinators like like Mike Locks and Lane Kiffin and
And
Sarkeesian and all those guys.
running backs. You got to think about the fact that they at one point they had Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, and all them boys in the running back room.
And eventually end up with Josh Jacobs. Okay. All right. So let's go on. We our good friend Titus, even though he just got in, he doesn't know what's going on. So, but we're gonna represent the Saints anyway. Titus, what's up? Just want to let you know. We're talking about each team and what their team needs are. If you mention your team, we're gonna talk about them. But because we know you in here and we know who you are and who your favorite team is, we're gonna talk about the Saints. So, New Orleans Saints. Man, they are going through they probably gonna go through a huge rebuild, man. They got a new head coach. Um and they got some they need cap space galore.
Negative $47.1 million.
They need cap space galore.
Negative.
I expect Derek Carr to be cut. Um It says you need edge, tackle, wide receiver, and tight end. And let's go. Let's talk about the Saints.
Well, first of all, you said it all. And then Titus is coming in saying rebuild. Absolutely. There's not much you can do when you're close to 50 million over the cap. Mickey Loomis has been kicking that can down the road, and we've talked about it ad nauseum on this show for years. And we
Yes.
said eventually that credit card bill is going to come due. Now you got a new coach, you got a new DC, who's not a bad DC. He was just a terrible head coach. He's a good
We'll see
DC.
about that.
Yeah, but the issue is, and we've said it before, Saints fans, you're gonna have to be patient because as cap strapped as your team is, as bad off as your cap situation is, you're gonna have to say goodbye to some guys that you absolutely love. Some other guys are gonna have to. I can tell you now, Taysom Hill's gone.
I agree.
Taysom Hill's gone. He's 34 years old and making too much money. He's definitely a cap casualty. Cam Jordan could also be gone. Tyrann Mathieu could also be gone. We already mentioned Derek Carr. You're going to have to completely build through the draft. You may have to trade away some of your younger, better players to get some more draft capital because you're going to have to build completely through the draft in order to just get your team ready for the next 2 years coming. If the Saints play things right, inside of 2 years, they could be back up to, okay, here come the Saints. We got to play the Saints this week. Oh, boy. But right now, it is going to look like a fire sale. If they do it right, it's going to look like a fire sale in New Orleans. And yes, all of those positions. What's scary is some of these positions are positions of need, but these are also positions you're going to have to probably jettison because of your cap situation.
Yeah. Yeah. They need a lot, man. And like Titus said, it's a rebuild. It's a rebuild because players gonna be gone. Draft. Let me see where they draft. New Orleans pick number 9. And I've said this. If you don't feel good about taking a quarterback at number 9, if one falls down to number 9, which probably won't happen, you got to take the best player available on the board and just take a quarterback somewhere between rounds 2 and 4. But every draft pick needs to be best player available this year, next year, and even 2027 for real, for real. And because it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while
Honestly, I would trade back.
to acquire more picks. Yeah, I mean, why not?
You need more picks.
Yeah,
I would trade back. If I was New Orleans, I would trade back from that number 9 spot. That number 9 spot has a lot of cachet. You can get a lot of capital in return for that pick. And then you can use those picks to go and fill your team to be somewhat relatively competitive. Because again, like Tristan said, this is a deep draft for team building, not necessarily for quarterback this year, but definitely for team building.
yes, definitely.
So, but we can go on to these other teams that we did not get to that people didn't mention. I can just go straight down the list, starting with Baltimore. Their
What's
needs.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Baltimore, their needs a wide receiver, offensive tackle, edge, and safety. They have about 12.7 million projected. Give or take.
So they probably going to restructure the contracts of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to get some cash space. Yes, Zay Flowers went to the Pro Bowl, but you can still use a receiver. Offensive tackle is up there because Ronnie Staley's a free agent. You definitely need an edge rusher. I'm trying to, outside of Terrell Suggs, I'm trying to really remember the last true dominant pass rusher off the edge they have had. And I don't think I can think of one off the top of my head. So, they really haven't replaced T Sizzle that much. And then who?
Matthew Judon.
Oh yeah, Judon. Okay, well, all right. Well, I give you Judon. Okay, and then you said what, safety? So yeah, what you call it? So that's going to be it for Baltimore, man. Baltimore, you need a receiver, tackle, because I don't know what's going to happen with Staley. Like I said, I know teams are going to be throwing money at him like crazy.
Hmm. Because I don't think they're gonna have the capital, the money to actually retain him.
Right,
He's gonna price himself out of there.
right.
Um, okay, so moving on, Cincinnati Bengals, wide receiver, tight end, tackle, and guard, which is I don't completely agree with because most of the stuff that they need has to do with the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
Now they have
Um,
61.9 million to work with, so they can do a little shopping.
well, they definitely could give ready to extend Jamar Chase, which they should have did last year,
Mm-hmm.
but they failed to do. So now his price tag has skyrocketed from last year.
Because yesterday's
Um,
price is not today's price.
there you go. T. Higgins might be franchise tag. We already discussed that part of it. But defensively, depends on what. And Trey Henderson may not be back because he says, "Hey, I may not want to come back." So you might need more on the defense line than you expect.
This is true.
Linebackers, corners, safeties. You have a new defensive coordinator. Because I think Lou is a good defensive coordinator. I think his time just ran out in Cincinnati, so he just needed a new space, and he's in Indianapolis now. But Cincinnati needs defense a ton. Now they do need offensive line because you still need to protect Joe Burrow. You still need to protect Joe Burrow. If you because Joe Burrow, and I hate to say this, and I think Tristan brought this up one time, some time ago. Joe Burrow could be another Andrew Luck, man. This could end up being a whole nother Andrew Luck thing. And to me, it's sad because teams just have not learned from what happened with Andrew Luck.
Okay.
No, I
So
agree.
so Cleveland, as of right now, they have negative $2.4 million in cap space. Obviously, their need is at quarterback. Definitely going to be at edge should Miles Garrett get traded. Tackle and wide receiver. So yeah, Cleveland's in a little bit of a pickle.
Yes,
Um,
and I think
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think they picked second overall in the draft.
They gotta take either Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders. Honestly, uh,
It's been rumors that they might go after a veteran quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
oh Lord Jesus, the Browns gonna keep Browning, huh? Okay,
Well,
Pittsburgh.
you know what else is Brown? Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay, so Pittsburgh.
You get it right.
Yes,
Okay, good.
Pittsburgh needs a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and cornerback. Probably in that order of needs. I know. Oh God, his name slipped right out right when I was getting ready to say his name. The running back.
Najee
Uh,
Harris.
Najee Harris is a free agent. Both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are free agents, and they need a second wide receiver
To Pickens.
to go with Pickens. So they have 60 million in cap space. They could be players in the free agent market as well as the draft. I look for them to cover all of those. I do. I can see them covering all of those.
Man, you know what? I hate this free agent class for quarterbacks, man. Like Tristan always talk about the draft. I hate the free agent market for quarterbacks,
It's,
man.
it's pretty. Yeah,
It's
it's
just
pretty.
not a good year.
It's
It's not
not a good year to try to get a quarterback, man. You
any,
might as well,
any
you
good
might as well build your team, man. Build your team this year, and then go get a quarterback.
build your team and put your young quarterback with all the pieces he needs around him.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna have to be the move for a lot of teams that are quarterback hungry.
yeah.
So moving to the AFC South, Indianapolis, tight end, guard, center, and cornerback. They have $35.2 million projected.
They
Uh,
they need somebody to either help out Anthony Richardson or start over Anthony Richardson because that experiment is running out of time.
somebody said that Anthony Richardson was the Daniel Jones of Cam Newton's. Let that
I see
matriculate.
what they did. I see what they
Let,
did.
let me
And
let,
that
let
makes
that
sense.
matriculate in your head for a minute. Let that. They said that man is the Daniel Jones of Cam Newton's.
See, just real quick, man, and that's why I had paused so much on Anthony Richardson because everybody's talking about his arm, and I'm like, Dude, I've been down this path already.
You seen guys with big arms not be good quarterbacks.
Right. And I remember last football season, during the high school season, even during the NFL season, one of the coaches was like, "Yeah, man, Evan Richard got a strong arm." I'm like, "Yeah, but does he have it upstairs? If he ain't got it
Listen,
upstairs, to me, that
I
arm
told
don't
y'all
mean nothing to me."
when he played at Florida, I thought he should have stayed another year.
You
And
did say that. You did say that.
he's what they thought Cam Newton was going to be coming in because they didn't believe in what he did at Auburn. He's what they thought Cam Newton was going to be coming into the league.
I was like, man,
It's unbelievable physical gift, but cannot play the quarterback position.
because this man was able to fade off the back foot and still put 70 yards on a rope. That's what he's capable of doing. But he don't have it upstairs.
Yeah, you can't play it. And when we say don't have it upstairs, we're not talking about his intelligence as a quarterback. We're talking about playing the position as a quarterback and then having the physical get. Like people could say what they want about Cam Newton. Cam Newton understood how to play quarterback. It was Ron Rivera in Carolina that used him as a battering ram that
That's
messed his shoulder up, and he was never the same.
never the
But Cam
same.
Newton knew how to play the quarterback position.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, next team.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars, $38.4 million in cap space. Needs are cornerback, safety, guard, and center.
And Christian Kirk could be on his way out the door.
And Christian Kirk could be on his way out the door because he was a bad contract signing.
Man, and we harped on that from day one. And guess who was
The
right?
Trent Baalke effect.
Guess who was right? Because,
Us.
man, we went through like 20 or 30 receivers at the time who was better than him.
We were all right. We were right. We got that deal. We was like, we finna talk about this on the next show. We was talking about that off the air, and we was like, okay, we finna light in the Trent Baalke
Hey,
behind us.
Eric, I just need you to do one thing for me, man. Can you do one thing for me, please?
Oh no, don't. Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna do the Eric Mrs. Trent Baalke thing.
No, I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna do
All right, so Tennessee quarterback, wide receiver, corner, and edge, $51 million in cap space.
And they need a quarterback too.
I just said quarterback was first.
Okay, so I thought you said cornerback, but okay.
No, quarterback and cornerback.
Oh God, well, yeah.
Along with wide receiver and edge.
God.
Yeah. So
I mean,
yeah.
what can I say, man? What can I say? You know, Tennessee really hasn't been much of anything since when?
Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Golly, do you know how long ago that was?
Yeah, Vince Young.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because even when Derrick Henry got in there, they still needed quarterback play.
Yeah, because
Mariota, they didn't play him right because Vrabel's very old school, and
And
he
then
didn't have an offensive coordinator that knew how to use Mariota's skill set. Mariota was before his time with that offense.
and Tannehill was just a disaster, man. It was just a disaster, man. Because
All right. Moving on. Denver. Wide receiver, safety, tight end, defensive tackle, $41.7 million.
Safety.
Now, Denver is a team that can really do some things through the draft and a little bit in free agency and really contend next year.
They
hit the jackpot with Bo Nix because I didn't even think I could be wrong. I was wrong. I did not think Bo Nix would be who.
I don't think any of us saw Bo Nix coming like that.
I'm not surprised though, because you know how I feel about Sean Payton and quarterbacks. So, but
yeah, but I just didn't. I watched Bo Nix at Auburn. I watched
I understand.
him at Oregon. And
I understand. But I just some reason I just trusted Bo Nix, and if Sean Payton wanted him the whole time, then he saw something in Bo Nix.
He proved his point.
And I tell you what, and just real quick, I know we went over the Chargers and we're going over the Broncos now. Depending on what happens during the offseason, Kansas City could really slide down in the division if they're not careful.
I'm going to talk about them next.
If they're not careful, they can slide. They really can slide.
Yes.
Now in regards to Denver, definitely this is the draft to draft a running back. This is the draft to draft a running back for Denver.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the draft.
And oddly enough, it wasn't listed as one of the needs. That's the funny thing.
It's definitely a need. It's definitely a need.
And then get one of those running backs late because they pick number 20 overall, so they can get a running back late.
Yes.
Okay.
Running back. Your defense is pretty solid. You need another wide receiver. Put the tools around Bo Nix so that he can operate.
Let's go.
All right, Kansas City, tackle, guard, defensive tackle, edge, all trench positions. But you know what they left off? Wide
Wide
receiver.
receiver. And
Every
they're
wide
all free
receiver
agents.
except Xavier Worthy is a
They're
free agent.
all free agents. I don't understand
Except
that.
Xavier Worthy. And you know,
Like, who you
and
like?
watch
Okay,
this. Wait for it. The Hunts are really gonna have to be smart about this because Kansas City only has $7.9 million in cap space.
Ouch.
Give or take.
so they're probably going to try to maybe restructure Pat's contract. They're probably
We'll
going to
have to.
talk to.
Chris
They're
Jones.
probably going to talk to Chris Jones and see if he's willing to.
Mhm.
They're going to talk to Travis Kelce as well.
Well,
And then
Kelsey's considering retirement anyway. So
exactly. So D-Hop already said he was going to retire, which I feel so bad because you thought he was going to win a ring with them in the end of
You really
retirement.
did. You really,
Felt so
really
terrible for
did.
him. You got to see what Travis Kelce wants to do, but you need a wide receiver. You need a wide receiver bad. You need a wide receiver and offensive line. Your offensive line got exposed for a second Super Bowl. Got super exposed.
mhm.
You need to get some maulers on that offensive line. Stop saying Patrick Mahomes going to bail y'all out. You bailed y'all out all season with the referee. Bailed y'all out all season. You need help in your secondary, at your safeties. You need help there. Your linebacking core is pretty good. Chris Jones cannot be the only
Nick
factor
Bolton's
on
a
that
free agent,
defensive
though.
line.
Nick Bolton is a
So you
free
need an
agent,
edge. Exactly. You need an edge. Chris Jones cannot be the end all be all for your defensive line.
and Justin Reed is also a free agent.
They'll probably sign Justin Reed back. I can't see him walking out the building.
Man, I don't
Big
know, man.
ballers of the- oh, go ahead.
Look, I'm sorry. Just real quick. If I'm a team, I'm overpaying Justin Reed just to keep him out of Kansas City and
I
Nick
get it.
Bolton.
They need a safe. They need a safety.
I understand that, but you better.
The fact that Nick Bolton the fact that they haven't re-signed,
He's a
like,
tackling machine.
bro.
He
Nick
is
Bolton,
a
please come to the
tackling
Commanders because I wanted Ron Rivera to draft you. I remember watching you.
Yeah,
I
he's a
wanted him to come to
tackling
Washington.
machine. When he gets there, he don't miss tackles. That's the beauty of Nick Bolton. Like
Yes,
if
once
he
his
gets,
hands are on you, that's it.
that's it. You going down. Yeah, he's a great tackler. He's not so much a thumper, a hitter, but he's a tackler. He's gonna grab you and bring you down.
And that's what Washington needs. So yeah,
The big
come on over.
ballers of the AFC West, the Las Vegas Raiders, they have 99.5 projected in cap space. Their needs are a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tackle.
And they can get all of this through
Mhm.
draft and free agency. They
Yep.
can do all of this. And you got Pete Carroll, who is a program turner, and
Yep.
Tom Brady in your front office that's going to scout the quarterbacks with Pete Carroll. Don't be surprised if Shedeur Sanders ends up with the Raiders. Remember that he worked with Tom Brady the past 2 years during the offseason. Don't be surprised if Shedeur's a Raider and has the sign off on with Tom Brady.
And they pick 6 overall. They might try to trade up.
They might try and trade up.
They might try to trade up. All right, AFC. Oh wait, I'm sorry. AFC East. Buffalo negative $10.1 million.
Buffalo just got to stay packed. Find a way to get Amari Cooper back on the roster. Stay packed. You have the team. You just need to get over the Chiefs. You got what you need.
Wide receiver, defensive tackle, edge, and safety.
They got what they need. The biggest thing probably be safety, and then you got to figure out what's going on with James Cook. Other than that,
James Cook wants too much money. James Cook wants too much money. You can get a running back in the draft, man.
Saquon got him got all these running backs gassed up. Thinking,
I know.
I know. You're good, but you're not Saquon.
You're not.
Thank you. And Joe Brady gonna run the football anyway. He's already proven that. So they're gonna get a running back somewhere else.
Yeah, the Bills can afford to be in cap hell right now. They're fine.
Miami safety, defensive tackle, guard, and quarterback, $1.5 million under the cap.
Tua can't stay healthy. They need a quarterback. Javon Holland.
Restructure Tua's deal. You need a veteran quarterback. Because you're not going to get you're going to look for maybe not even next year's draft, but maybe the draft after to get a quarterback in the draft. So you need a veteran to come down there to make your wide receivers happy because you don't spend all this money. Your wide receivers ain't getting the touches that they're supposed to get. That defensive side of the ball, you need an edge rusher. You need corner help because Kendall Fuller didn't pan out to be who y'all thought he was going to be when he got down there.
You need a
And don't
safety
forget Javon Pollard is a free agent, so he's walking out the door because they're not going
at
to be able
safety.
They're
Yeah,
not going to be able to get him. Yeah, they're not going to be able to sign him back.
to retain him. Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of money. Yeah.
New England. I'm gonna start with a cap space. 128 million under.
Yeah.
listen.
And
Hold on.
exactly.
Wait. I'm sorry, T. I'm sorry. For all the skilled players they had, if any of those guys are still in the contract, you need to cut them and start fresh. And that will add way more cap space than you have already. I'm not saying you need it, but you can add way more cap space, and then you go out and get the world. Okay? Because outside of Drake May and maybe one or two other players on that roster, overall, you need the world.
Tackle, guard, wide receiver, edge, and running back.
just say
The
the roster
world.
outside of
You need the world.
Just say the roster outside of quarterback.
Yeah.
New York Jets, 23.8 million under the cap projected.
Aaron Rodgers going to get cut. Devontae Adams will be out of there. Alan Lazard will be out of there. They're no longer the New York Aaron Rodgers football team. They are back to being the Jets. Listen, I'm interested in seeing what Aaron Glenn does, man.
It's another reset, and the Jets have to be patient with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah,
It's another
they're going to have
reset
to.
button.
They're going to have to.
Quarterback, tackle, cornerback, defensive tackle.
I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback because they don't have the cachet to be able to move up to get any of these guys.
Yeah,
These
nobody
guys
want to
aren't
go
worth
there.
it. It's not going to be worth it unless
They
you can
picked
find
7
diamond in
overall.
the rough.
Yeah,
They picked 7 overall.
I told y'all there's a couple diamond in the rough, and if they can find one,
and they're going to have to really do some scouting and take a flyer
Yes.
on a guy, or either they just going to have to just deal with what they got, which ain't much.
Like I
But
said, take
listen.
the best player available or trade back. It's one or the other. You're going to have to do that.
Arizona, edge, wide receiver, defensive tackle, guard, linebacker, 76.4 million projected.
Yeah, all their energy needs to be put on the defensive side of the ball.
But, Arizona's a team that just don't seem to do a whole lot, man.
All their
They
energy
don't.
needs to be put on the defensive side of the ball.
It-
All
it-
their
it-
resources to the
It's
defensive side of the ball.
it's either they don't do a whole enough or players just don't want to go there. But something is wrong with Arizona, man. They just
Don't nobody want to play in Arizona.
Don't nobody want to be in Arizona. I've been to Arizona. It's very overrated. I don't want to be there.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Like
be in Arizona.
the last time Arizona was good was what? Kurt Warner
Kurt Warner.
And Carson Palmer.
and Carson Palmer.
Yep.
They and because they don't draft well, they're never going to be a real good team.
LA Rams, wide receiver, tackle, cornerback, linebacker, quarterback, 44.3 million.
Is who?
The LA Rams.
Oh, they got to figure out what they're going to do with what's going to happen with Matt Stafford. If Matt Stafford's out the door, this is a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
Seattle-
Because
Oh,
the
go
only thing you got, the only thing you got is young defensive lineman and a wide receiver Puka Nacua and a running back.
Yeah. If Matt Stafford walks out the door, it's a complete reset.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback, and good luck. Seattle
Agreed.
Seahawks, guard, tackle, quarterback, defensive tackle, negative 6.5.
You know what?
Yeah, just hang on to Geno for another year or two because you ain't gonna get no quarterback out of here for Seattle.
No.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and
Just
trade
build
it
your
on.
team. Build your team.
Yeah.
Where does Seattle draft this year?
Probably somewhere in the team.
Give me
I
a
think
second.
18
I'm
something.
scrolling. Oh, 18?
18.
Exactly. They're not gonna do nothing.
They were just good enough to not have a good draft position.
Exactly. So
Didn't
you're gonna
make
get.
playoffs.
So they're gonna follow their board. Whatever's the best player at
Yeah,
the time at 18, that's what you're gonna
just
get.
grab this
Yeah.
guy, I guess.
Stick
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
Stick with
that's what you
Geno.
got to do, man.
Yeah. All right. Atlanta, negative 4.9 million. Edge, cornerback, wide receiver, center.
Yeah, well, Kirk Cousins is about to get cut, so
So they're gonna
about
get some money.
Yeah, they can get some money back. Michael Penix is supposed to be the guy.
You need an edge rusher.
That's the first one. That's the first need.
Yeah, because they traded for Judon, but he needs help.
Hallman, the center, is actually a free agent. He's a pretty good one. He's a free agent.
So you need to shore up that. So you need to shore up that offensive
Damn it,
line.
Titus.
You need to shore up that offensive line for Michael
And,
Penix.
and listen, Grady Jarrett keep getting long in the tooth, man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not a spring
yeah.
chicken anymore. Carolina, edge, cornerback, safety, linebacker, wide receiver, 28.8 million.
Listen, man, they lucky, man, because Bryce Young turned it around. He
Carolina
turned it
needs to thank
around.
Black Jesus for Bryce Young waking up finally. Because man, that was
Took him a minute, but he got there.
yeah. Because they was
They
gonna be in the
lucky,
same
man.
boat with the Saints. Like, hey, y'all gonna have to wait this one out. But he turned it around, so
He
now they
turned it
can pay attention
around.
to the rest of the
So
roster.
they need to build around him, man, and get it right. Listen, man, that division is not strong. Tampa Bay has reached their ceiling. Atlanta is going through changes.
What's
Uh,
their salary cap?
who?
Carolina.
Carolina, 28.8.
So they need a veteran receiver because you need someone that's gonna go with X to teach him how to be a number one. They drafted him to be a number one, but he's great, but he's inconsistent. When he's good, he's real good. When he's bad, he's bad. He cost them a couple games last year with drops.
We talking about
They
Leggett?
they need someone to go with him. Leggett, yeah, Leggett.
Yeah.
They need someone to go with him to
Xavier
train
Leggett
him.
and Devo Samuel are friends, and Devo's from that area.
Yeah, but you need you not Debo. You need someone else that's like a pure receiver. Pure
I'm
receiver.
being
They
funny.
also, hey, listen. They also picked number 8 overall. So there's some receivers in this draft who they can take.
Yeah, but you're not doing that with 8 overall. You're gonna try and get one of these defensive linemen or
Yeah,
edge
I
rushers. You
wouldn't
remember
do
you
that.
lost. Yeah, you lost whatchamacallit to the Giants. You need someone to
Oh yeah,
be
Burns.
back
Yeah,
over there.
Brian Burns. Yeah, I'm sure
You
did.
lost
He did.
Brian
He
Burns
did.
and you lost Luvu to the Commanders. So you need another
Yeah, you
rusher.
need front seven. You need front seven. You do need front seven.
Yes,
You're right.
that has to be addressed. And the offensive line has to be addressed for Bryce.
That's right. Okay.
Tampa Bay, wide receiver, edge, guard, linebacker, 8.3 million.
Man, Mike Evans keep
No,
getting older, but he's still productive. Chris Godwin's a free agent, but like I
Chris
said, man,
Godwin's a free agent.
Tampa Bay is they have capped out. I mean, they haven't reached their ceiling. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
What
Yeah.
you saw from them this year is what you're gonna get.
So
Yeah.
You're not gonna get any further than that.
their offensive line is pretty solid. Tristan Wirfs is a dog. They definitely got to address wide receiver because you don't know. Well, Michael Evans already said he'd come back for another year, but you don't know what's happening to Chris Godwin. They need to address the corner position for sure.
Yeah.
They need to address the cornerback position. They need to address their front seven. Levante Davis getting long in the tooth, so you
Yeah,
need to
he
eventually
gonna be
look at
34.
yeah, you got to look at the linebacker position as well. So defense for sure, corner
And wide receiver.
and wide receiver.
And they picked number 19.
That's a good spot for one of them defensive linemen.
Detroit, edge, cornerback, guard, 51.8 million. I think they can handle that.
They got 51.8 million.
Affirmative.
Bro, this is a drafted team. They did great.
Projected.
That is true. That is true.
It could be more than 58.
I forgot about that.
It could be more than 51.8.
Yeah, they hit on the draft the last few years.
Yeah.
They did well.
Green Bay.
I'm sorry. They should really go after Myles Garrett then. You said $51.8 million. Dude, you really got to go after Myles Garrett because
you have Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Jesus.
Yeah, because
antitrust laws against that. That's just like
listen.
Yeah,
You picked
Roger Goodell had to step in on that.
Listen. You picked 28th overall. I'm giving up my first round pick and something else to get Myles Garrett in the building.
Don't give them probability. Stop talking. I want him to come to the
Yeah. I know what you want, Tristan. And listen. We already said it. If him and Aiden Hutchinson get together, that's a wrap. But I'm just saying, you got to give up your first round pick and something else to go get him. You have to.
But that's
$51.8 million in cap space. You have to go get him.
But that's if Cleveland ain't going to do it.
Right. Green Bay. Why
you forced the hand by giving up. I'm sorry. You forced the hand to give up something, man. You are close.
You got to make him an offer they can't refuse.
Thank you.
Green Bay. Wide receiver, edge, cornerback. 49.1 million.
They need
edge. Oh, but
Jair Brown
is going to be gone. So edge
and their receivers are all good, but none of them are great.
They got hurt. They got hurt, and they were young.
Yeah.
Christian Watson is still a dog. He'll be fine. But they definitely need an edge. They definitely need corner.
Yeah, because Alexander's for yep.
Minnesota, cornerback, running back, defensive tackle, safety, 63.3 million.
Yeah, Harrison Smith getting long in the tooth, man. How long he going to keep playing?
I thought he retired.
No, he ain't retired yet.
I heard he was contemplating it though.
He's
He,
contemplating it though.
him and Stephon Gilmore contemplating retirement.
I would honestly try to go for a running back as well because Aaron Jones is long in the tooth too.
Yes,
Yes.
he is. Yes, he is.
New York Giants quarterback tackling guard, 48.3 million.
They need everything except for
Everything on the offensive side of the ball.
except for Malik Neighbors because he's by himself over there.
Everything on the
Defensively,
offensive side of the ball. Defensively,
defensive,
they're okay.
defensively, they got Burns, they got Dexter Lawrence, who's
They
oh my
might need
god.
corner. They might need corner help.
If he had not gotten injured, man, we would have saw something different from a true nose tackle position had he not gotten hurt. Oh my! I don't
Yeah,
think people forgot. I think people
yeah.
forgot.
That defense is legit. But the offense side of the ball, all you have is Malik Neighbors. Literally, all you
Yeah,
have is Malik Neighbors.
yeah. Malik Neighbors by himself. Like, yeah, you know what? Malik Neighbors is like the last episode of Fresh Prince when he just standing in the room by himself looking
And an empty
around
space. That's
in
it.
an empty
That's
space.
exactly
That's
what
what
it
he
is.
is. That's what
Exactly
he
what it
is.
is. So if anything, they have the most pressure. You understand that your generational talented players have all left and had success elsewhere.
And the thing is, you brought back the GM and the head coach, who I thought were both going to be out the door. So they gotta do.
I can't even blame Dayball. It's the GM, bro.
Well, that's
I
true.
can't even. I think Dayball is just a victim of the stupidity of
He
the
probably
GM.
is. He probably is not because no, because he got the most out of Daniel Jones that 1 year.
He
He
got
really
the
did.
most out of him.
I mean, he did.
That alone should save Dayball's job. Look what they did. You fooled your GM thinking that y'all had a franchise QB.
Yeah.
You fooled him. So that alone should have you keep your job. But
And
Cone,
Sa-
but Brent Cone gotta go.
and Saquon Barkley got that Super Bowl.
I'd have had Cohen nailed. You hear me? Nailed and
Drawn
sacrificed.
and quartered.
Okay?
Super Bowl
Sacrifice to the Giants
champion.
He
fans.
got a Super Bowl ring.
Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Edge,
Just
linebacker,
run the,
wide receiver, guard, 22.3 million.
what you
Why
mean
wide
wide
receiver?
receiver? What you mean wide receiver?
Hey, I'm just going off of what CBS
No,
News.
I understand
What
that, but what am I
what
missing?
for what?
Because you just gave those two guys a contract extension last
You want to
offseason.
give them more wide receivers? You
Me
want to give them
personally, I
more?
think that tight end, Dallas Goddard is getting
Yeah,
called.
yeah. I would say tight end, but not wide receiver. You want to give them more?
I'm just going off of what CBS Sports said.
Saquon it counts as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
What we talking about?
Stupid.
What we talking about
Stupid.
here? Now, yes, you got to address the edge because Sweat gonna make some money
And
that
Brandon
the
Graham is a
Eagles may
free
not
agent.
want. That
I mean,
Eagles, that
Brandon
the
Graham's
Eagles may not want to
retiring.
pay.
All right.
Brandon Graham's retiring, so you're gonna have to address the edge. Your linebackers are fine. D tackle is fine.
Well,
Corners are
actually, Zach
fine.
Bond is a
Safety's
free
fine.
agent.
It's like Bond's a free agent.
Oh yeah, no, but I think N'Kobe will step back in and be okay.
Okay.
Like Bond played out of his mind this year.
He
You
did.
ain't lying. You ain't lying. Now, I tell you what, whoever signs him, make sure that you use them correctly.
And you got to make sure your defensive line is solid because that was one of the
Keep
things
him
that
clean.
helped him a lot. Keep him
Him
clean.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
Last but not least, Tristan, Washington Commanders,
Miles Garrett.
82.2 million
Miles Garrett.
He
tackle
said Miles
edge,
Garrett.
wide receiver, and corner.
Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett.
You're like, that's it. You're like, that's all. Miles
Miles
Garrett.
Garrett solves all the problems. It's like no, for real. No. We need to address the Mike linebacker position because
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure we're going to re-sign Bobby Wagner, but we need someone that's going to be the successor to Bobby Wagner. Um, we have to address the cornerback position. Because we have to, Central was awesome, but I think they really want to put him in the slot.
That's where he
People want
definitely
to.
plays his best football.
People are
My
saying
scouting
that
reports last year, he was just a consummate slot guy. Just
people want to say Lattimore should get cut, but what they don't understand is for a corner that plays on an island primarily, and to have a bad hamstring, and then to go to a team, learning the defense, learning the scheme, your teammates, give him an offseason that he can train and be in the OTA, be fully healthy. I think we'll see the Lattimore that we wanted to see.
I
So
agree.
I think that's fine, but you have to address the cornerback position on the side. Luckily, this is a very deep cornerback class again. So that's something that can actually be addressed in the draft and not have necessarily going to free agency. Definitely have to address the offensive line. I think Coleman will be fine at left tackle, but if we can get a better left tackle and put Coleman back at right tackle, I'd be cool with that. Cosme's going to be out. So we don't know how that injury is going to last with that or whatever. We're good at center. I would be cool with probably getting another guard. But we're solid at center. D tackle. Listen, I'm okay if Jonathan Allen gets traded. I'm really okay with that. I think what I saw from Newton, I think I'm good with either Deron or Jonathan Allen getting traded, but I would want Deron more than I would want JL to stay. But I'm cool with either one of them getting gone. I know I said Myles Garrett, but of course I'm gonna say that. But ideally, we do need an edge rusher. If we can find it in the draft, I'm cool with that as well because this is a great class for edge rushers
Yes, it
as
is.
well. So I'm cool with that. We definitely need to address the free safety position. We're probably gonna sign back Chin. He was great last year at strong safety, so he'll probably be back as a strong safety. But we definitely need to address free safety.
Quan
Um,
Martin.
I think they want to. I think they want to utilize Quan in different areas. That's why I was like, we need just one deep ball safety to be there because they like to move Quan around.
Yeah, he's versatile. He's extremely
Yeah, he's
versatile.
very versatile, and he showed it last year. He's awesome. What else? I'm curious to see what they're going to do about the tight end position. I think they said they want to sign Zach Ertz just because it was the comfort level for Jaden in the second year to have him as a security blanket again. We have to address the running back position. I love Brian Robinson, but
Those fumbles hurt.
the fumbles hurt, and when we needed him to be a game record, he just couldn't do it. He's a guy that's like a steady hand, 3-4 yards. He'll get you, but we need a game breaker. And so this is another draft class that is great to draft a running back in. I'm curious to see again tight end position. I'm curious to see what they do with Ben Sinnott because I think Ben Sinnott is like another Chris Cooley. He just didn't get a lot of touches last year. I was reading it was really more so just him really understanding the offense. So they think maybe after the OTA, he might break out this year. So I'm hoping so. Other than that, I mean, we're pretty solid. I mean, we're in the catbird seat for to be in the conference championship, having a franchise guy, having the cap space that we got, the draft picks that we got from what Adam Peters accumulated last year and different moves that he did. Yeah, this is, I mean, we could really make some noise for like the next 2-3 years under this rookie contract with Jaden.
All right, so that basically talks about our 32 team shopping list for this off season. We'll be back next Monday. We're talking a little bit more about the combine because the combine will be concluding this week, if I'm not mistaken. We're talking about some guys who are shining, who shined, who didn't work out, who did work out, so on and so forth. So next week we'll be talking about the combine. But before we close out, for those of y'all who know, I am just a fan. We are just fans. We actually have real jobs. I'm a band director at Willow Ridge High School here in Houston, Texas, and we have a fundraiser for our jazz band program to procure extra equipment, different things like that. Brandon, if you could post the link.
It's on there.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
Yeah, it's on there. It's on the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch accounts, all three at the same time.
So what we are selling is football and college blankets. So your favorite NCAA college, unfortunately, they don't offer HBCUs, but there are blankets and pillows that you can buy, and all proceeds go to the Willow Ridge Jazz Band. So if you don't mind, folks that are watching at home, click on that link, and if you see something you like, go ahead and buy it. So I was asked by one of my coworkers to post this on the podcast and put it out there. I think somebody, one of my students was in the comment box, said, somebody, y'all talking about football, why don't y'all post buy a blanket or something? So yeah, that's what they're trying to do. So I appreciate y'all if you do. And Yo, that's it. But this is Just a Fan Podcast. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you are not a subscriber, we need the subs. That's all I got. B.
Oh, all right. So, gentlemen, post production, we need to talk for about 2 minutes because we're gonna be busy in the entire month of March. Okay,
Yes, we are.
so just hang around for about 2 minutes if possible. Um, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, shirt of all ages. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Okay, you can follow us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, we are on every Monday throughout the off season unless we say something different, like the NFL draft is on Thursday night, so we're gonna cover that. But March, man, listen, it's about to be busy because I'm looking at the off season schedule, so that's why I'm gonna talk to the guys about this because yeah, we got a lot to cover. Um, but anyway, that direction, well, forget it. Next to me on the screen, Trish TV, the quarterback that runs this whole thing, the media brain. Down below, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. No off season for Just a Fan podcast. I'm Coach Williams, the NFL encyclopedia, Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. Build the game in the trenches. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Peace.